Road to Rock. How Soon Is Now? By The Smiths. The world of rock isn't just written with notes. It is forged in moments of chaos that hide secrets no one dares to tell. Some call it legend, others a curse. Turn up the volume. This is Road to Rock, and this is the story of How Soon Is Now. And by 1984 the Smiths were no longer a Manchester curiosity. They were a precise machine of personalities, Morrissey with his lyric voice, Johnny Marr with a restless guitar mind, Andy Rourke and Mike Joyce holding the rhythm. How Soon Is Now began as Johnny Marr's experiment, not a fleeting riff, but an obsessive studio idea. He sketched a repeating guitar phrase, then treated it like a textural instrument rather than a solo voice. Marr layered that phrase through modulation and echo, turning single notes into a tidal wash. Andy Rourke anchored it with a low, patient bass line that locked into the guitar's pulse. Morrissey arrived with a lyric set apart from pop hooks, a personal, brooding vocal that rode over the groove instead of inside it. The song was born where technique met temperament. The recording sessions in 1984, overseen by producer John Porter, were deliberate and exacting. The band worked in a studio mindset, long takes, careful layering, multiple passes. The drums were built largely around a drum machine and additional percussion, a production choice that fed tension with Mike Joyce, who preferred the physicality of a live kit. That tension was real, not tabloid fodder, but a creative disagreement about what the song needed. Musically the track is unapologetically hypnotic. It strips rock down to repetition, a two-chord vamp extended into trance, a sliding guitar voice that sounds like a human sigh translated into electronics, and a vocal performance that alternates between confession and challenge. The structure refuses the verse-chorus candy bar. Instead it lives in its intro and sustains, letting dynamics and texture do the work. Within the Smiths' career this song was a turning point. It showed Marr as a studio architect and proved the band could make something that operated as both club groove and art statement. It was difficult to reproduce live. Marr and the others often relied on tapes or reinvention on stage. That gap between studio craft and live practicality became one of the band's recurring strains. The legacy is plain. The song widened the audience for what an indie band could sound like: woody yet danceable, intimate yet vast. It became a touchstone for guitarists and producers who wanted mood over flash, repetition over narrative. For the band it was both triumph and trouble, a masterpiece that exposed differences in process and purpose. Standing in the room as it took shape, you felt that contradiction in the air, a beautiful, stubborn piece of music that only a few of us knew how to make. How Soon Is Now remains that rare thing, a studio creation that changed how a generation heard the guitar. Subscribe to the channel and smash that like.